Los personajes más destacados de Internet y el mundo en Fan Internacional.
Señores, estamos en vivo con una nota realmente increíble. Está Luquitas del otro lado, el mismísimo Zordon, no lo podemos creer, ¿eh?
Sí, estoy muy emocionado. Si titubeo en mi inglés es porque estoy emocionado.
Te veo el brillo en los ojos porque vamos a hablar con Zordon, sí, el Zordon de Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, de los primeros Power Rangers. Para los fanáticos noventeros y nostálgicos tenemos la chance de hablar con el mismísimo David Fielden, que es el Zordon de Power Ranger, el tipo que, lo decía Lucas hace un ratito, era como una especie de sabio oracular que los tenía a los pibes ahí bajando data, y nosotros nos preguntamos qué carajo es. Le damos la bienvenida al mismísimo David Fielden.
Okay, David, so we are so thrilled to talk with you right now. The first question is going to be...
Bien, vamos a hacer la primera de las preguntas, y tiene que ver obviamente con... No se pudo ni presentar, me da angustia de haberlo dejado ahí. Queremos preguntarle por qué recordamos tanto Power Rangers, y le damos la bienvenida, que si no parece reseco, ¿no?
So David, why do you think audiences still right now remember so much, have so much fun with the show Power Rangers? Which is the connection there?
Honestly, I think it's because the way the show is structured, the way the characters are presented in the show, inside the uniform and outside of the uniform, is that anybody could be a Power Ranger. I think it speaks to different generations, different countries, different societies, and tells them that, you know, there's a hero inside them, and they can be that if they want to be.
Oh, I love the way you describe that. Thank you, David. So, así que David responde básicamente que es por la estructura del show y por cómo fueron presentados los personajes, tanto dentro o fuera del traje, y cómo representa esta idea bastante romántica, sobre todo como la presentó David, de que cualquiera puede ser un Power Ranger y que cualquiera dentro de sí mismo puede ser un héroe, tiene la madera para ser héroe.
Estamos hablando con Zordon, amigos, para los fanáticos de los Power Rangers de los 90. Quiero saber cómo lo contactaron para ser Zordon.
So, David, how was the first contact with the production of Power Rangers? How did you become Zordon?
Well, I had gone to college, to school, to learn acting. I have a BFA and an MFA in acting, and several of the friends that I had made in college had moved out to California before I did. When I joined them a few years later, I had only been living in Los Angeles for a couple of months when a friend from college, who was working at Saban Entertainment at the time in their they were doing a lot of direct-to-video movies and stuff. She was working as part of the production team on this pilot show that they were shooting, and she called me up and said, would you like to come down and audition? And when I went down for the audition, I assumed that it was just going to be a cattle call where there would be like 15,000 other guys. And I would read lines and then go home and never hear anything. But when I got down there that afternoon, I found out it was just myself and another gentleman. And they said that they were going to cast it that night, and would we be available to shoot next week? And I, luckily enough, won the part, and the following week I was sitting in the chair and had all my hair shaved off, and the rest is history.
Okay, so we're going to go there in a minute with the process to become Zordon, but first the traduction. Vamos a, básicamente, él fue a la universidad, tiene 2 grados en actuación, y dentro de sus compañeros de clase había todo un grupo que se mudó a Los Ángeles para participar para poner en práctica este sueño de convertirse en actor. Y una de ellas en realidad terminó trabajando en Saban, la productora,
sí, claro, por supuesto,
de esta versión yankee de Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Sí. Y así es como lo contactó para decirle que había una audición que se acerque a Saban, que tendría que tener disponibilidad para grabar la semana siguiente.
Ya estaba contando a propósito de Zordon, ¿no? Cómo era ser Zordon, pero sobre eso tenemos una pregunta invitada, Luqui, que está Matsorama ahí muy cebado también. Matsorama es, para quien no lo conocen, un personaje de internet. Un cordobés que toma Fernet en internet y habla gracioso. Qué difícil explicarle a Zordon, a Matsorama. Pero básicamente, para que lo entiendan, es el man que hizo el filtro de Instagram de Zordon. Contale que tenemos una pregunta invitada de Matsorama, que es el creador del filtro de Instagram, y después la escuchamos y se la hacemos a él.
Okay, so David, now we have a guest question. It's for a journalist here in Argentina that it's also a graphic designer, and he made this Instagram filter of Zordon, so anybody could be Zordon in Instagram. So here is the question.
I would like that link. If you could send me that link, that would be awesome. I haven't seen that filter.
Definitely, we're gonna send that link to David, definitely.
Soy Matsorama, el creador del filtro de Zordon, y tengo una pregunta para Zordon. Cuando le explicaron cómo iba a ser su personaje en la serie y cómo iba a estar y todo, ¿qué pensó? Claro. ¿Cuál fue la primera impresión cuando se enteró de cómo era Zordon?
Claro. Saludos para Matsorama.
Okay, so our friend here, Matsorama, asked you, how was your reaction the first time in Saban explained to you what was Zordon, how was Zordon, who was Zordon?
Well, because I was a fan of comic books,
okay.
and I grew up watching some of the Sentai shows from Japan when I was growing up. I was a fan of Ultraman and a lot of the kaiju monster movies like Godzilla and stuff. I was very familiar with the concept of science fiction and superheroes and stuff like that. So when they told me that Zordon was a 10,000-year-old wizard trapped in a time warp, I sort of already kind of understood what that meant. I just relied on my training and my knowledge of superheroes and comic books to sort of imagine what it would be like to be this very wise, good-hearted person who found himself imprisoned for a very long time. And I think that really informed the deep quality of his voice, the way he tried to present himself as a very all-knowing and very protective entity. So when they explained it to me, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. It all sounded very familiar to me.
I love this. David básicamente explica que él siempre fue un fan de los cómics y sobre todo de toda la mitología japonesa en cuanto a la cultura pop japonesa en realidad, ¿no? Todos los cómics, todos los shows Sentai, Godzilla. Entonces cuando en Saban le explicaron que iba a ser un mago de 10.000 años que estuvo encerrado durante un montón de tiempo y que ahora lo vemos en una cabeza gigante, lo entendió porque ya venía empapado con toda esta cultura popular nipona. Y de ahí lo único que hizo fue respaldarse en su entrenamiento actoral y cree que toda esta sabiduría de Zordon y estos 10.000 años que tiene se ven como representadas en la voz profunda y calma que tiene el personaje.
El sabio Zordon, con él estamos hablando, amigos. Sí, Zordon de Power Rangers, no puedo creer,
Me interesa mucho saber cómo fue realmente el proceso de el maquillaje y todo, de cómo convertirse en Zordon.
Dale.
Así que le voy a preguntar, David, first of all, thank you for all your answers. You are amazing. And I want to know, how was the process to become Zordon? Because you said before that you got your head shaved and everything. Is it true that you get your face all covered in latex or something like that?
Not really. What's very interesting about the character is they only filmed him one time.
Yeah.
And then they recycled the footage over and over, much like they did with the Japanese footage. They repurposed it over and over. So the process of becoming Zordon was not as involved as it might seem today if you watch special effects videos of how they made Josh Brolin into Thanos with all the makeup or they didn't have the ability back then to CGI any sort of makeup or anything like that. I went down to a warehouse in North Hollywood early in the morning, and they took me into the makeup room, and they shaved all my hair off. They glued my ears back. They darkened my eyebrows, and then they slathered my chest all the way up to my neck in green latex paint. And then we went out to the set, and I sat in a chair in front of a big green screen, because the process of the filming at the time was what they called chroma key.
Yeah,
so,
classic.
The only thing that would show up on the film after they did the post processing of it would be my head. Everything that was green would be removed, and that way, whenever that footage was slid into the footage of the command center, the only thing that showed up was Zordon's head. So, people have always asked me, well, why didn't they just give you a bald head wig? Why did they have to shave all your hair? And I think at the time it was cheaper to shave my head, and since it was only for a one-time thing, they didn't want to have to waste the money to get a prosthetic device that they could glue onto my head or something like that. So, I was okay with it, because hair grows back. At least it did back then. It doesn't do so much today.
But you got your head shaved for one day work.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got your legacy. I mean, it was just one day. But
yeah.
Ojo que tenemos una pregunta invitada ahora la vamos a escuchar, que va en concreto sobre eso, porque hay unos rumores de internet que quiero corroborar, que esto del un día habla muy polémico, pero vamos primero a la
primero I'm going to translate the last answer. David cuenta que en realidad solo grabó un día. Se acercó a la productora Saban y el proceso fue básicamente, le afeitaron la cabeza porque no querían gastar. No tenían una moneda. No le querían poner una prótesis de calva, digamos, para no gastar más dinero, así que le afeitaron la cabeza, lo pintaron de pintura verde para poder hacer el efecto especial, que en aquella época se manejaba con un chroma key muy básico.
Chroma key, para que no conocen, es el verde de fondo y te recortan después ahí.
Y te recortaban. Sí, con una diferencia de luz te podían sacar la cabeza. Y es lo único que se apareció de David en el show, básicamente. Pero bueno, vamos a la pregunta invitada.
Sí, está Juanito 6, sí, que es un youtuber y completo fanático, confeso, de Power Rangers, que hace esta pregunta.
Aló, ¿qué pasó? Soy Juanito 6, archifanático de Power Rangers, así que un lujo poder hacer una pregunta al legendario Zordon. Mi pregunta entonces ¿es verdad que él, para Zordon, que sale en un montón de episodios, solo grabó una o muy poquitas veces, y que después las voces sí las grababa aparte, pero en un momento incluso dejó de grabar las voces y ya era otra persona la que hacía la voz de Zordon? O sea que si miramos los episodios podemos ver que la boca nunca jamás encaja con lo que dice.
Es buen detalle.
Gracias por el espacio y aguante Zordon.
Aguante Juanito también. Vamos a preguntarle por qué solo grabó en un día. Tuyo que por rata.
So David, there was another guest question. It was about you did one day shot in the series, but afterwards you recorded some other voices lines for Zordon, and afterwards they changed the actor.
Bob Manahan era el otro actor.
Bob Manahan, the other actor. How was that worked for you? I mean, you just got one day work. They paid you just for that day.
Se ríe también, se ríe.
We're going to hate the Saban for this.
Because the show was non-union, there was no residual payments for that. All the original cast, myself, all the other voice actors, we got paid for the time that we were on the show, and that was it. I think I made less than $1,000 on the show, and Saban made $1 billion the first year from the merchandising and toys and all that stuff. But when I left Los Angeles, there was no animosity between myself and the show. It's not like we disagreed on anything or were angry with one another. I was just very unhappy living in LA. I felt like I was not doing the things that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I was working 2 jobs. I was afraid that any time I could find myself living under a bridge and I was just very stressed out and emotionally and mentally unhappy about living there.
Yeah.
So I moved back to the East Coast, and at the time, the show had just started to appear on television. It hadn't quite.
Nobody knew it would be such a success.
It hadn't captured anybody's imagination. It hadn't taken off yet. So, had I stuck around for another 6 months, who knows what would have happened? But I did do the voice for Zordon for the first 31 episodes. Mm-hmm. And after that, Robert Manahan took over as the voice. They continued to use my face as the character throughout the life of Zordon, but that was my short time on the show. Yeah.
So that's why the lips it's never synchronized with the voice.
I think that was the plan from the beginning because they knew they were going to recycle the footage.
Yeah.
So they just sort of like futzed the lips and the mouth out so that whenever Zordon would have to speak, they would flash him on the screen briefly, and then they would show what he was talking about, and they were very creative about how they did that.
Yeah. Okay, so the translation first. Básicamente, lo que dice es que Power Rangers no era un show que estaba dentro del sindicato de actores. Entonces, a todo el equipo se le pagó solamente por el tiempo en el que estuvieron trabajando para el show. No es que con las repeticiones... Sí.
¿Dijo la guita?
No es que con las repeticiones ganaban dinero, tanto él como todos los demás Power Rangers,
Ajá.
digamos. Por eso también los vemos mucho en convenciones y todas estas cosas. No son millonarios.
Okay.
De hecho, a David le pagaron $1,000 solamente por todo el trabajo. Sí. Por el día y por todas las grabaciones.
O sea, claro, sí, en Argentina hoy $1,000 te la agarro como loco, pero contemplando que Power Rangers es uno de los productos más exitosos con todo el merchandising y todo el mundo que hay, es una mierda.
Es una mierda.
Es una mierda.
Pero bueno, también David aclara que para ese momento nadie sabía que podía llegar a ser tal éxito. Era una productora muy, muy chica, que de hecho, así como reciclaron las escenas de Zordon, reciclaron todo lo que venía de Japón. Y eso lo empujó también a volverse a la costa este de Estados Unidos porque no la estaba pasando bien en Los Ángeles.
Estamos hablando con Zordon, ni más ni menos con Zordon de Power Rangers, súper loco. Y al comienzo de la nota, Lucas decía como ¿pero qué mierda era? Es una pregunta que le podemos hacer a él.
Era un mago alienígena, lo contó recién.
¿Un mago alienígena?
Uh-huh.
¿Fue el primer gran hermano de la televisión?
Ok, vamos a preguntarle eso. David, so we were chatting about who was Zordon, and maybe one idea is Zordon was the first big brother in TV for you. What do you think?
He was the first big brother in TV?
Yeah, I mean, this guy who knows everything about everyone in this Angel Grove town.
Yeah, I think Zordon and Alpha did have a mass surveillance system. They were monitoring the whole Earth because I think they knew at some point Rita and Zed and the Machine Empire, they were going to try to conquer Earth at some point. So, I kind of agree that Zordon was kind of a big brother.
It was a big brother. Sí, tanto piensa que tienen como sus cualidades, sabían todos sobre todos en la Tierra, tanto ellos como Rita Repulsa, la mala, que de hecho tenía su propia pantalla para poder ver a donde quiera, ¿no? ¿Te acuerdan? Cada vez que caía un monstruo, lo veía. Ahí tenía su propio Switchmaster. Vamos con la próxima, ¿te parece? Porque fue un solo día.
Ajá.
Y no sé cuánto pudo haber conocido el resto de los Power Rangers.
Ah, claro, totalmente. O sea, no sé si los conoció.
Claro. So, David, with all of these things that you're talking about, I was wondering, have you had the chance to meet the Power Rangers in your one-day shooting work, or you never met the cast?
I actually met the cast when we did the audition. They were all there, because the way the audition worked is they brought me into a room. All the main cast was there: Austin St. John, David Yost, Walter Jones, Amy Jo Johnson, and Yellow Ranger at the time, Audrey Dubois. And the director was there, the producers, I think some of the heads from the studios that they were trying to court to see if they would pick up the show were there. So I met them all there, and they had me stand up on a table And so I was looking down on everybody, and that's how I was presented to them as Zordon for the first time. And then I met them again the day that we filmed. They were actually there. We were saying our lines back and forth to one together. I did meet them then, but unfortunately, because the way the schedule of shooting the episodes work, I never got to meet them again for another 21 years. It was 21 years before I saw them again. So yeah.
So a lot to catch up, right?
Yeah. I was actually very surprised and very happy to know that they remembered who I was. That was pretty awesome. So yeah.
Awesome. So, básicamente David explica que sí, los conoció en la audición. Estaban ahí todos presentes, los 5, y después los volvió a encontrar en el día de grabación. Estaban todos, eran súper amables entre sí, eran chicos que estaban recién arrancando, tanto un poco como él. Y después cuenta que tuvieron que pasar 21 años para volverse a encontrar, pero cuando se reencontraron, le sorprendió a David que todos recordaran quién era.
Claro, que era un tipo que vieron una sola vez, ¿no?
Una sola vez en su vida, claro.
Me gustaría saber si David, no sé si gusta, pero vio o qué le parecen las siguientes Power Rangers, ¿no?
So, David, we're wondering, are you still attached to the Power Ranger universe? What do you think about the new series and for example, the movie that was released in 2017?
Becky G.
Yeah, I am sort of attached to the ongoing series. I mean, I recently got to revoice the character of Zordon for the Battle for the Grid video game, which is out for PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And they in this latest season of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, in the very first couple of episodes, I think they talk about the character of Zordon and his connection to the morphing grid. And also the Boom Studios comic books that have really sort of revitalized the Power Rangers universe. The Shattered Grid storyline, where the character of Tommy Oliver from one universe turns into Lord Draken and then starts to eliminate Rangers throughout the multiverse. Zordon plays a very big part in that. And the last Power Morphicon I was at in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
We did a live read of the Shattered Grid storyline, so that was the first time that I got to do the voice of Zordon in front of the audience. And Barbara Goodson, who was the voice of Rita, we got to play off of each other, and that was really fantastic. So, yes, the short answer is yes, I'm still attached.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm not getting paid or anything for it.
Yeah. Well, but it's a good story, though. Básicamente, David cuenta que sí, sigue de alguna manera relacionado. Es un universo que no le puede ser ajeno porque mucha gente lo reconoce por eso. Y que con todas las nuevas historietas que salieron del estudio Boom, medio que el personaje de Zordon está como revitalizado y le dieron una nueva significancia dentro del universo de Power Rangers. Hace poco tuvo que volver a hacer Zordon, me parece un detalle muy lindo para el videojuego que va que está saliendo este año, que me parece lindo que hayan ido a buscar a la voz original de Zordon para una parte que quizás no era mega importante dentro del juego.
Pero es una reparación histórica también para el tipo que estuvo desde el principio, ¿no?
Tal cual. Y que sí, que es inevitable y que sí, de alguna manera la respuesta corta es que sí, sigue estando relacionado, aunque no le están pagando por eso.
Hijos de puta, ¿le gustaría estar en una próxima película, en caso de haberla?
David, would you like to be involved in a new movie of Power Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, if they would like to bring the character back, I think it would be interesting to be a part of that. You had asked about how I felt about the 2017 movie with Bryan Cranston as the role of Zordon. I thought it was really, really great what they did. I really enjoyed the effects, the way that they presented the character. The fact that he was able to move back and forth on the ship made him much more dynamic and gave him more range.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he was a Red Ranger. I thought that was awesome. But the interesting thing is, and if I talk too long and you need to stop me so that you can interpret.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And break up the answers, just let me know. Zordon is a completely American invention for the Sentai stories that they adapt. So I know that they still take a lot of their cues for the stories they tell in the Power Rangers series from the Japanese storylines. And since there's no reference to Zordon in those storylines, it's really kind of hard for them to work the character into what would happen. But I still think that Zordon is out there somewhere, and it would be really cool if some of the Rangers would go to try and find him, to see if he had some extra words of wisdom to give them or something like that. So I think it's possible that they could do it, and I would be very open to recreating the character again, but who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. But that would be so nice. David dice que le encantaría, sin dudas, le encantaría volver a interpretar a Zordon. Creo que puede haber posibilidades. La película del 2017, de hecho, exploró a Zordon de una manera un poco diferente. Bryan Cranston puso la voz, nada más y nada menos.
Ni más ni menos.
Y que estaba bueno esto, como que le daba más rango al personaje, de que podía salir de la nave, podía tener como otra forma. Era un Red Ranger antes de convertirse en esto, que es Zordon. Y que, bueno, dice que en su momento la serie Power Rangers, Zordon fue como un aditamento que le puso la parte estadounidense para tenerle un poco más de cuestión a la historia que iban agarrando de Japón. Y que hay una posibilidad de que quizás Zordon esté perdido por algún lugar del universo y uno de los Rangers tenga que ir a buscarlo.
Sería mítico.
Sería
completamente mítico. Amigos, hablamos con David Fielding, como decíamos, el Zordon de Mighty Morphin Power Ranger del 93 al 99, aunque él grabó un solo episodio. Le agradecemos mucho esta nota. Vamos a cerrar con una pregunta que la nerdeada está pidiendo. Hay muchas convenciones que lo tienen a él como protagonista, si querés, involuntario, porque hay muchos cosplayers que hace a Zordon.
Exacto.
Pero dado que él fue el Zordon original, ¿qué consejo le daría a un cosplayer para hacer un buen Zordon cosplay?
Okay, David, first of all, we are so grateful for your time.
Right.
And this is our last question. So, we have a very nerdy audience that is very fond of going to conventions and doing cosplay. Actually, last weekend I saw a Zordon cosplay that was amazing. But do you have any advice for cosplayers all around the world to make a good Zordon cosplay?
Do I have any advice? I think cosplay is awesome. The passion and the creativity that people put into some of those costumes is just really amazing. The fact that they love their franchises. They love, being Doctor Who or Power Rangers or Captain America, whoever it is that they want to put on. I think it's great. One of the best Zordon cosplays I've seen is somebody who actually created like the power chamber around them, and then they carried in front of them the control board that had little miniature versions of the Rangers standing in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. It was amazing.
Yeah, so I think if you want to take on the character of Zordon, you sort of like have to try to create the environment that he's in as well. The command center is such a big part of who Zordon is, and if you can do that, if you can try to create the illusion of the power chamber and the energy tube and all that, I think that would really, really help.
Okay, so you mentioned Doctor Who and Captain America, and you said before that you read comics and all this stuff. So my last question, my personal question is, if you have to choose just one cosplay to make on yourself, which character will you choose?
Muy buena.
I love the character of Captain America. Steve Rogers is my personal hero. Not because he's an American, but because of what the character stands for as far as like doing what's right for everybody. If there's something evil, if there's something that's trying to harm the public, that's the person you stand up against. And that, for me, that's what Captain America is. So I look nothing like the character. I've got a little fat little belly, so I'm not heroic looking, but if I could dress up as any character, I think it would be Cap.
I love the way you said all this stuff. And remember what the Power Rangers stands for. Everybody could be a hero. So everybody could be a Captain America.
Todos pueden ser un Capitán América también.
Okay, so básicamente, estoy diciendo mucho básicamente, perdón. David cuenta que para tener un buen cosplay de Zordon tenés que crear un poco el contexto de lo que es Zordon, ¿no? Uno de los grandes cosplays que vio en internet era este pibe que no solo se pintó de azul y se puso un tubo encima, sino que también creó todo como una miniatura de lo que era el Command Center con los Power Rangers miniaturas, como para darle un contexto a qué es ese tubo azul. Y después le pregunté si tuviese que elegir solo un personaje de cómics o de películas, ¿cuál sería?
Él se confesó nerd, ¿no?
Se confesó nerd en esta misma nota. Eligió el Capitán América, no porque sea americano, sino por todo lo que defiende y todo por lo que lucha. Si hay algo malo en el mundo, él siempre va a estar del otro lado.
A contrapelo de lo que podamos pensar de Capitán América, es un buen personaje. Sí. No es un nefasto imperialista como algunos, sin conocer el personaje, lo tienen. Un lujazo hablar con David Fielding, le agradecemos muchísimo esta charla y lo bancamos muchísimo, amamos su trabajo.
David, so it's a goodbye for us. Thank you so much for your time. You are amazing. This was a beautiful chat for us, and I really hope that it was the same for you.
It was fantastic. Thank you.
Oh my God! I love you, David.
All right, señores, hablamos con Zordon, no podemos creer, no podemos creer, y cerró como Zordon, la hizo cortísima. Amigos, estamos en vivo hasta las 12 de la noche. Tremendo Lucky,
Ay, lo amé.
Tremendo, muy buena onda, hermano Iván.
Muy buena onda.
That's all, folks.